Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo 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 Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Ajnantimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Namah Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, when he was performing his pastimes here in this material world, at that time Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings were kind of disappeared. In public, not many were purely following the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the six Goswamis. There were people who had deviated from the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and have become prominent. So prominent that they were deviant persons were considered real followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and because their philosophy was deviant, good people were not able to relate with it. So much so that when Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur wanted to study Chaitanya Charitamrita, he found it very difficult to get the copy. And at that time, Vaishnavas were considered lazy people, that because you cannot get a job, because you couldn't earn money, because no girl will marry you, so you become a Vaishnava. Because you cannot do anything else in life, so you're chanting Hare Krishna to fill your belly. Even today sometimes to brahmacharis in ISKCON people say that you are escaping your duties, you are lazy, you are irresponsible, you don't want to take care of your parents, you don't want to earn, you want easy food, and you want no responsibility, so you are joining ashram. Some people think in a negative way. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, he had challenging times, and still he managed to make the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu not only public, but gave them a very nice, respectable platform. So lots of literature Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur was translating and publishing, and he was writing as well. So at that time, he felt a need of somebody competent to assist him in these preaching activities and in publications. Somebody who is purely following the teachings of Mahaprabhu, somebody who is scholarly and skilled to learn all the publication activities, preach boldly and write and translate. So he was feeling a need of some assistance. Is this okay? I think. Hare Krishna. Okay at the back? So with this desire to have a son who will fulfill the mission and help him, he prayed to Lord Jagannath. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was staying in Jagannath Puri and he was a magistrate in the High Court. So not only he had a very important government position and a very important matters he will deal with in the court in the daytime, and whole night he would sit and write, and morning he will chant his rounds, and he would hardly sleep and eat. So he ardently prayed to Lord to give him a son who will help him in his mission. And with their prayers was born one son whose name was Bimal Prasad. That is Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Just after the birth of the boy, a few days later or few weeks later, there was Jagannath Rath Yatra. And when the Jagannath cart came on the main road, Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house was on the same road where Jagannath cart moves. So when Jagannath cart came outside the house of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, on the will of Lord Jagannath, the Rath stopped. So generally when the Rath stops, all the devotees like to make offerings. Flowers, fruits, sweets, rice, money, and babies. Even babies are offered to Lord Jagannath. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur's wife is magistrate's wife, so that respect was there. So she sent small boy, Bhaktisiddhanta Swami Thakur, to be offered to Lord Jagannath. What they will do is they will take the baby on the cart and keep it on the feet of Jagannath and then give the baby back. Even today they do that. And that is fine. ISKCON altars we don't do. That's fine. So when they received the boy and kept it on the feet of Lord Jagannath's mala fell on the boy. And that was a very great auspicious sign that that boy is a great personality. And looking at the opportunity, the mother arranged Anna Prashan ceremony, Anna Prashan Sanskar, the first grain. The child is given first time grain. They gave Jagannath rice to the child on the cart. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Swami Thakur had symptoms of a great personality. His arms would touch his knees. Nobody's arms generally, if you stand, will touch your knee. But long arms is sign of a great personality. So his arms would touch his knee and his forehead would be broad. His voice is very grave, his chest is broad. And like this there are symptoms of a Mahapurush, a great personality. And he is very scholarly. By age 7, he knew by memory all the 700 verses of Bhagavad Gita, and he could give a class on each verse. Not just memorized, but understood. And whichever school he would go, he would not study the class subjects. He would sit in the library and study all other books. And still he would come first. He's so scholar. So much so that in future he is called living encyclopedia. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Swami Thakur would meet any scholar and debate on any subject and defeat him. He's so big Pandit. And he was so scholarly that he wrote his own book on astronomy, which is even used today. And he wrote, because of that book, he got a title among all the scholars, Siddhanta Saraswati. He got the title Siddhanta Saraswati. And his devotion was visible from childhood. One day, fresh mangoes came in the house. And as a small boy, Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur got attracted. So he went towards the mangoes, that I will eat a mango. But before even he could pick up, his father Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur strongly said, first Krishna will eat mangoes, nobody can eat before him in the house. And Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, these words went in his heart, and at that time he took a vow that whole life I will not eat mangoes because I made an offense. He didn't eat, he just thought of eating and he considered it as an offense. And a small child, somebody may think out of sentiment he decided, but actually he followed it whole life. And as an Acharya of Gaudiya Math, with so many disciples all over India, many disciples would come and bring mangoes to offer him and the deities. And whenever he was offered a mango, he would say, no, I cannot eat a mango, I am an offender. He followed it with determination. A small child desiring to eat an unoffered mango is not a big offense. Children have that nature, but he followed it whole life, trying to teach us that Krishna is the only enjoyer. We are not the enjoyers. We are Prakriti. He is Purusha, and he is the only Purusha. So he enjoys everything. And we are meant to give him enjoyment. As soon as we think of enjoying this world or enjoying the objects around us, we are competing with Krishna, and that is an offense. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Supreme Enjoyer, Bhokta, and we are servants of Krishna. So Krishna should enjoy, and we should receive his mercy as prasad. Even whatever we cook in the house, the first plate should go to Thakurji, to Krishna. We should have a nice altar at house with deities or photographs. And first plate, after cooking in the house without onion garlic, suitable offering should be offered to Krishna with tulsi leaves. Whatever we purchase, it may be fruits, it may be dry fruits, it may be milk, it may be non-eatable like clothes or jewelry or furniture or jewelry or whatever we purchase, first we should offer it at the altar. For a car or house, first we should offer to the deities, and then we should receive their blessings and honor prasadam. That way our income is purified, our kitchen is purified, our house is purified, and all the family members are purified. Otherwise, even one grain of rice we eat, we are eating sin. It is a sinful activity. So Krishna is the enjoyer, and we have a loving relationship with Krishna. And love means offering service. And offering to Krishna should be the first item. Suppose a father, he brings a box of sweets and gives to the child, say small girl, daughter, Gudiya. And the daughter is very happy to receive a box of sweets. She opens the box. She takes the first sweet and says, Daddy, first sweet you eat. Will the daddy be happy? Yes. Why? Because he got sweets? No. Daddy can purchase 10 bucks. He is not happy because he got sweet. He is happy because he got the first sweet and the first sweetest love of the daughter. He is so happy, what will he do? Next day bring one more box. Why? Because he knows again the first one I will get, I'll get love of my Gudiya. Right? So the first one contains love. Imagine if the daughter opens the box, eats 60-70% sweets and says, Papa, remaining you eat. Will father be happy with that? He said, throw it in the dustbin. I am not interested. Right? So the first one means love. So he is the enjoyer. So the first meal in the house goes to Krishna. The first mango goes to Krishna. The first article we purchase, Krishna enjoys. The first few hours of the day we wake up goes to Krishna. That is called Mangala Arati. And Tulsi Arati, Narsingh Arati, chanting 16 rounds, Shringar Arati, Guru Puja, Bhagavatam class. That is morning program Srila Prabhupada gave. And daytime we do our other work, other occupation. So first goes to Krishna. Our first salary, first part of the salary goes to Krishna, goes to devotees, goes to cows. In that way our occupation is purified. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur taught by his own example that Krishna is the only enjoyer. And we should understand that we are servants of Krishna. He is the master, He is the proprietor, He is the enjoyer. And when we offer Him and we receive prasad, we are free from any impurities, free from any sins, and free from any contamination. So we should make this a habit to keep Krishna in the front as an enjoyer of our house and whatever we possess. So as he grew up, his father gave him a kurma deity. Bhaktivinoda Thakur gave him a kurma deity to worship and gave him a mantra to chant, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And he became a very nice preacher and very scholarly preacher and very famous. So many people around, many sadhus around were looking forward to give him initiation because they were thinking such a great soul, such a great scholar, son of magistrate, son of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, such a big acharya. If he becomes our disciple, we will be famous and we will get more disciples. So they were looking forward to receive him as their disciple. But Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur was not getting attracted to such people. So one day, Gaur Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj, who is another acharya, he came to meet Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Gaur Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj himself is a pure devotee of Krishna. And he is so much absorbed in chanting and hearing the holy name that he would hardly have any company. He would hardly have any clothes to wear. He would have not any accommodation, hardly eat or sleep. Whole day he would chant. And he appeared to be an illiterate person. And to avoid company, where he would chant? He would chant sitting in toilet, public toilet. Why he would chant in public toilet? Because nobody will come and disturb him there. Anywhere else he chants, people would come to touch his feet, to pay him obeisances, to offer him service, to ask him question, and to ask him, how are you? Hope everything okay. He said, why to waste time? I'll sit in toilet because of bad smell, nobody will come and disturb me, and I will chant my rounds. And whole day he would chant. Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye, so renounced. And he had difficulty seeing at night. His eyesight was at night very difficult to see. One day at midnight he came to Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house and woke him up. And he told, I have this 2 rupees somebody gave me and I don't know what to do with it. I thought you are the best person to use it in the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so I came to give you 2 rupees. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was surprised. He said, such a small amount, you could have given in the morning. Why you walked in the night? You can't see at night. He said, no, I don't want to keep this Maya. You use it in Krishna service. I will not get sleep. And he went back at night to his room, residence, wherever he was, in Dharamshala. That was his renunciation. And earlier he used to stay in Vrindavan Dham. When he heard the Yoga Pit, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur discovered the actual birth site of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came to Navadip to stay. So he would often come to the lectures of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and that time Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur saw Gokuleswar Babaji Maharaj and came in contact and got attracted to his renunciation and his simplicity and his ecstasy in Krishna consciousness. And Gokuleswar Babaji Maharaj had some ropes, knotted rope. Earlier they used to have knotted ropes as Japamala. There will be one rope and there will be 108 knots, and they would chant on one knot. And so he gave some knotted rope to Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur to chant, which he had received from another Babaji, Bhagavatas Babaji, and 1 or 2 more articles he received, and he gave to Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur very affectionately. So in due course, when he was getting attracted to Gokuleswar Babaji Maharaj, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur told Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, you take initiation from Gokuleswar Babaji Maharaj. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur is a scholar, and in the past time Gokuleswar Babaji Maharaj is illiterate. So it's not easy in ordinary circle for a scholar to bow down to a person who is illiterate. Anguta sharp, which we say, who cannot even sign his name. But the very concept of initiation and surrender includes humility. Without humility, there is no advancement in devotional service. We can advance in bhakti only when we are humble. And humility starts by bowing down to Krishna. Humility starts by bowing down to the spiritual master. Humility starts by bowing down to devotees. And humility means when we value others more than ourselves. If I value myself more than others, that is pride. But when I value others more than me, that is humility. So when I value others more than myself, I can easily go forward at the lotus feet of Krishna. So humility helps us to move forward in Krishna consciousness. If somebody is not humble, then he will tumble and grumble and crumble. He will not grow in Krishna consciousness. You know, that day one person went to a shop and he did some purchase in Wellington, and the bill was $99. So he paid $100 and the cashier gave him $1 coin. So he put that $1 coin in his wallet, sat in his car and drove forward. So in his wallet there was already many bills of $100. You have $100 bills here? $100 bills you had. And now this $1 entered in the same wallet, $100 note and $1 in the same location. So the $100 note saw $1. Said, hey, $1. What is your value? Who are you? You should not sit with me. You know who am I? I am $100. You are useless, $1. I have been in the Prime Minister's wallet once. I have been in the Beauty Queen's wallet once. I have been to London. I have been to Melbourne. You $1, where have you been? The $1 said, look, I have not been to Beauty Queen's purse. I have not been to Prime Minister's wallet. I have not been to London. I have not been to US. But I have been to the Hundi of ISKCON Auckland and ISKCON Wellington and Gonetai of Christchurch. Because you go in Hundis, people put $1, nobody put $100. Nobody puts $100. Right? So if you are $1, you will reach Krishna's lotus feet. If you are $100, you will be sitting in somebody's purse. So humility is very, very essential. Trinad api suni chena tarar iva shaishuna amanina manadena kirtanina sadahari. That I am servant of Krishna. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur is naturally humble, and he got attracted to Gaur Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur also indicated to him that you receive initiation from Gaur Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj. So he approached Gaur Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj, paid his obeisances, and told, please accept me as your servant and give me initiation. Gaur Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj never accepted any disciples. He was not inclined. So he told Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, no. He said no. Where whole Sadhu Samaj wanted Bhaktisiddhanta as their Shishya, Gaur Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj had no attachment. He said no. And that is a sadhu. A sadhu should not be attached to wealth or prestige or position. He should not be attached to followers also. That I should have more and more followers. More and more people should become my disciple or become my follower or put a like on my Facebook and YouTube or pay me respect and obeisances and feed me nice kachori and paneer and halwa and puri or give me nice dakshina. That is business. That is not Krishna consciousness. And if you at all want to do business, better to clean a street and earn money honestly rather than use Bhagavatam to earn money. That is very, very third class activity. So Gaur Krishnadas Babaji had no inclination. He said no. But Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur was determined. So in few days he approached again and humbly touched his feet and paid obeisances. He said, please give me initiation. So because Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur was so much persistent, Gaur Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj said, okay, look, I will ask Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So after a few days he again approached, again paid obeisances. He said, did you ask Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? He said, oh, I forgot. And again few days later he approached. He said, did you ask Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? And Gaur Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj said, yes, I asked him. He said no. Now Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur started crying. And he was suicidal. He wanted to commit suicide. That if I don't receive your mercy, my life is useless. And he spoke little strongly. He said, you are worshipper of Krishna, who is a cheater number one, who cheats the whole world. So why will you not cheat me? You are cheating me and not giving me mercy, I will die. So when he expressed his determination in this way, Gaur Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj's heart melted. He said, okay, you take bath, I'll give you initiation. And this is the only disciple he had. He gave initiation. And like this, we have episode in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's life. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he went to Gaya to do Shraddha for his father, Jagannath Mishra, at that time he had darshan of the lotus feet of Vishnu, when which many Brahmanas were offering prayers and tulsi and fruits and dry fruits and water. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw the lotus feet of Vishnu and tears started coming from his eyes in ecstasy. And he was also glorifying and offering prayers. At that time Ishwar Puri came at the same place. And Ishwar Puri is always in ecstasy of Krishna Prem. Always he is shaking his body and dancing. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw Ishwar Puri, he paid obeisances and Ishwar Puri embraced him. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I came to Gaya to liberate my father, but after seeing you, millions of my ancestors are liberated. Just by seeing a pure devotee of Krishna, a person's ancestors are liberated. So Ishwar Puri said, I am very happy to see you. Yesterday I had a good dream in which I saw Krishna, and I knew today I said get some good news, and seeing you is a good news. And they both spoke. Then Ishwar Puri left, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went towards his duty of doing Shraddha at various ghats. And in the daytime, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu reached his room. He took shower and he started cooking. At the end of cooking, Ishwar Puri came to the ashram where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was resident. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu welcomed him, offered him a seat, washed his feet. And Ishwar Puri saw he was about to end his cooking. So Ishwar Puri jokingly said, "Oh Pandita, I think I came at the right time." Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very happy. He said, "Yes, you have come at the right time. I beg you, please honor Prasad today here." Ishwar Puri said, No, I will not honor here. You have cooked for yourself. If I honor, what will you eat? He said, it will be my great privilege if you accept Prasad from my hands. Don't worry, I will cook again. Ishwar Puri said, No, don't cook again. Why so much labor? Do one thing, whatever you have cooked, make half. Half I will take, half you take. Chaitanya said, No. If we make half, none of us will be satisfied because I made only for one person. You eat, don't worry. I will cook for myself. And very lovingly he fed Ishwar Puri everything he cooked. And Ishwar Puri accepted it with great love. And after that he washed his hands and he offered him garland and chandan. And Ishwar Puri left. Meanwhile, Mother Lakshmi in Vaikunta, she saw this whole pastime in honor CCTV. And she felt ashamed that Mahaprabhu will have to cook again. So before even Mahaprabhu went to the kitchen, she came invisibly, made nice chappan bhog and left, so that Mahaprabhu doesn't have to cook again. So next day in the morning, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again met Ishwar Puri and paid obeisances. He said, "My dear Guru Maharaj, please give me mantra, please give me initiation." And Ishwar Puri said, "Look, I know who are you. I know you are Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nobody can have this kind of qualities. But in every pastime you accept a spiritual master to teach people. So I will do that service. Go take bath, I'll give you initiation." And he gave him initiation. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes down in human pastime and accepts Guru. Lord Ramchandra comes down and accepts spiritual master. Krishna Balram come down and accept a spiritual master. Why? To tell us, who are you not to accept a spiritual master when we are doing it? So without surrendering to a bona fide spiritual master in our sampradaya, one cannot become a servant of Krishna. We can't become servant of Krishna just by reading books. We need association of devotees. We need to surrender in a bona fide process and gradually grow in Krishna consciousness under the obedience and guidance of spiritual master and senior devotees. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur taught this by his example. And even His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya of our ISKCON Society, he also taught by his example. When Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur wanted to preach, he started preaching in Kolkata because his policy was to preach at a most crowded place, to make temple at most crowded place so that more and more people can get benefit. But before starting his preaching, in order to develop the purity to preach, teaching us as a sadhaka, he chanted 9 years, every day 192 rounds. Every day 192 rounds for 9 years. And he was so austere when he was chanting, so focused, that in a small hut when he was chanting, sometimes the roof will leak due to rainy season. And he thought, why to waste time repairing the roof? He opened an umbrella and continued chanting. So he is sitting in his room with an umbrella and chanting Hare Krishna. That is Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur. And when he started preaching in Kolkata and started Gaudiya Math, once at Kolkata, Srila Prabhupada, who was a young student at that time, he had a friend, Malik, Narendra Nath Malik. And Narendra Malik had met Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur and was very impressed. So he told Prabhupada, at that time Abhay Babu, that come we will meet the sadhu. Prabhupada was not ready to meet sadhu because he had seen many sadhus who were not properly situated. So he had no interest. So his friend said, no, this is a different sadhu. You please come once and meet him. He also wanted Prabhupada's opinion because Prabhupada was very intelligent. In his circle of friends, he was considered a leader. So if Prabhupada gives a good opinion, that means the person or product is fine. So he said, no, you please come, meet him, this sadhu once. He said, I am not interested in meeting sadhus. When his friend was so insistent that he caught hold of Prabhupada's dhoti and started pulling him towards the direction. And Prabhupada was saying, no, right on the street of Calcutta, two Bengali babus pulling each other's clothes. It was a very awkward situation. So finally Prabhupada said, just to please his friend, he said, okay, I will come. So they both went on the terrace where he was sitting, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, and giving darshan to his disciples and well-wishers. And he was sitting very straight spine and shaved head, shikha, tilak, kanti, sacred thread, chadar, saffron cloth, very effulgent. And Prabhupada and his friend came and they offered full Dandvat Pranam, which you should offer to a sannyasi. Before even Prabhupada could get up and sit, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur said, you are English-speaking gentlemen, why don't you go to Western countries and preach the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in English language? Srila Prabhupada was surprised. I am meeting him first time and he is giving me order as if I am his disciple. That too, leave India, go to Western countries and preach in English language. That's not easy. Go to an English person or a foreigner and tell him there's a boy, blue in color, in a village called Vrindavan, running behind cows and girls, and he's God. Nobody is going to believe, nobody is going to accept like this. And Srila Prabhupada at that time was follower of Gandhi. And he was wearing khadi. So because he was wearing khadi, he felt that I should represent the Gandhi philosophy. So he asked a question to Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur. He said, India is not a free country. We are under British rule. Who will listen our message? If I go from India to some other country and tell them the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the first question they will say, you yourself are a slave. Why should I take you seriously? So first is India's independence, freedom movement, then all this sadhugiri and other things. First is we should make India independent. At that time, every single leader of India, Bharat, was talking about Indian independence. Gandhi had given a do or die clarion call, and Pandit Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose, and everybody was talking about this. Nobody in India would dare to speak against the very revolution of freedom for India. And here was one sadhu who was talking not about independence, but was talking about going to other countries and preaching in English language. So Prabhupada gave an argument against that. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur replied, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message is more important and urgent. It cannot wait for India's independence. Srila Prabhupada heard this and he was shocked. He said, nobody in the whole country can speak like this. Who will dare to speak like this in the whole country? And this is a sadhu who is speaking. Prabhupada put forward more arguments and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur defeated those arguments And later on Prabhupada told, first time in my life I was defeated and I felt nice about it. And Prabhupada also mentioned that I accepted him as my spiritual master in my heart. That was 1922, first meeting. He took initiation in 1933, 11 years later. And he actually fulfilled the order of going to Western countries and preaching in English language in 1966, 44 years later. But he accepted him as Guru on 1922 on the first day of meeting. So later on his friend asked Prabhupada, how was the sadhu? And Prabhupada said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement is in good hands. He was appreciating. And later on Prabhupada met Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur multiple times. He also helped to establish Gaudiya Math in Bombay. And when Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur was taking a Vrindavan Yatra, he went and joined him from Prayagraj. And at the bank of Radhakund, Srila Prabhupada and Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur were walking. And then Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur told Prabhupada, there is fire in the matha. What happened is in Bagh Bazaar, they built a marble temple and they built lots of rooms. So all the sannyasis of disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur were fighting among themselves who will take which room. So when Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur heard that, he felt very upset and he said, better I sell the marble and print books. And he told Prabhupada, if you ever get money, print books. And Srila Prabhupada said, my Guru Maharaj gave me 2 instructions. First instruction, go to Western countries and preach in English language. Second instruction, if you ever get money, print books. I followed just these 2 instructions and today we have ISKCON society. Just 2 instructions of Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, another sincere follower, Prabhupada followed. And just by 2 instructions, this ISKCON society is standing with thousands of centers today and millions of devotees. And just like British time, they used to say the sun doesn't set in British Empire. Today we can safely say the sun doesn't set in ISKCON Empire. Somewhere sunrise is happening in an ISKCON temple. Somewhere at any point of the day Mangala Aarti is happening. And such a great, wonderful society we have. So that is by the mercy of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur and the blessings of founder Acharya of ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada. And there is a very big temple of ISKCON in Mayapur, just across the Ganges, and there is a road in between. And generally, when there is even little rain, the Ganges river swells up and all the water comes inside ISKCON Mayapur and devotees have great difficulty. So then the government made a road in between and they raised the road little bit and it is called Bhaktisiddhanta road. So when the first time road was made and the monsoon came, the water in the Ganges river swelled but it didn't come inside the property because the road was now protecting. So devotees were very happy. They wrote a letter to Prabhupada telling about the situation. And Prabhupada wrote back, yes, my spiritual master Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur is always protecting us. And so Srila Prabhupada had always said that I am always with my spiritual master. I am not away from him. And he taught us how to serve the mission of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, his spiritual master, who was very scholarly, so much so that people would be afraid to debate with him. And some big scholars and panditas, sometimes they would come to debate with him. Just by hearing him, their pants would go wet. He was so powerful. He is also called Lion Guru, Simha Guru, because he was preaching as a lion. He would not tolerate any apasiddhanta, any deviation to the teachings of Mahaprabhu, he would not tolerate. There is also a big episode wherein there were Smarta Brahmanas by birth, who claim that you can worship Shaligram Srila only if you have taken birth in a Brahmana father, in a Brahmana family, otherwise you cannot worship. And even if you are qualified, but if you have not taken birth in Brahmana family, you cannot give initiation, you cannot be an acharya, you cannot be a guru. And at that time this was very, very spread in public, and Vaishnavas were having difficulty. And so there was a conference to settle this point, there was a conference to settle the position of Vaishnavas and Brahmanas. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur wanted to go to the conference and present Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings, but he was ill and bedridden, he couldn't go. So young Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur wrote a paper, Brahmanas versus Vaishnavas. And when Bhaktivinoda Thakur read that paper, he was very happy, he said, you go. And young Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur went to the conference as an acharya. And when he started his presentation, he spoke so many verses glorifying the Brahmanas that the Brahmanas in the audience became very happy, he is on our side. Even we didn't know we are so great. Because he quoted so many verses, these Brahmanas never heard the scripture, never heard the slokas, and they were very happy. Then second part of the presentation, he quoted 3 times more verses glorifying the Vaishnavas. And then they were spoiled. And he, with the help of the verses and the literature of the Goswamis, presented conclusively that even if a person is not born in a Brahmana family, he can be eligible to worship Shaligram Srila. And even if somebody is not born in a Brahmana family, he can give Diksha. And some of the audience gave opposing arguments, but he defeated every one of them. And in the last day of the conference, he gave 2-hour conclusive presentation so nicely that the people went wild to touch his feet. But the security took Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur in a separate room. They brought a bucket of water, forcibly put Bhaktisiddhanta's feet in the bucket of water. Then they took the bucket outside the room and no time distributed all Charnamrits. Because the police were afraid that if Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur is there and they started touching his feet, there will be more chaotic situation. So they gave Charnamrit to everybody. He didn't like it, but that was the case. And that is how he became very great Acharya. And he has written many books. And there are many more pastimes. Sometime else we can do second part. And he is, as I said, famous as Simha Guru, Lion Guru. Some people used to say his preaching is very sharp, but he would also say that just like a surgeon, he requires a sharp knife to perform surgery and cut the infection. You cannot go to the surgeon and say, operate me without pain. Don't cut me. That's not possible. Surgeon means he will use a sharp knife to cut the infection. In the same way, a sadhu has to use his sharp words to cut the illusion in the heart. A sadhu should not be a flatterer. If a sadhu flatters you and glorifies you, then he is not your friend, he is your enemy, because he is not showing you the mirror. He is not speaking sharp or honest words to cut the illusion in the heart, to cut the material attachment in the heart. We all are comfortable in a particular state where we are performing bhakti, but we need to take a step further, and a step further is a change, and that is away from our comfort zone, and that is difficult to do. But a sadhu, he can speak sharp words to help us come out of comfort zone and inspire us to take a step further, so that we practice more and more better bhakti and advance in spiritual life. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur's technique was chopping technique. They call it, his preaching was chopping technique, which very rarely you will see today. When he is answering somebody's question, he will chop him out. He will chop not only the question, he will chop his thoughts also out. That all deviant philosophy he will cut out, so that only Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teachings are in the center of people's thoughts. Srila Prabhupada said preaching means 2 things. One, to tell people Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, and also to tell who is not Supreme Personality of Godhead. We can't just put one point and not the other point. We have to tell both the points. So when you tell somebody who is not Supreme Personality of Godhead, you have to chop that person out. You have to chop the philosophy out. You have to chop the deviant philosophy out. Any philosophy against the principles of Srimad Bhagavatam, any philosophy against the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, any philosophy against the teachings of Rupa Goswami has to be chopped out. Otherwise impurity will continue in the minds of devotees. Wrong philosophies would continue, like Mayavad philosophy or Karma Mimamsa philosophy or life comes from matter philosophy or Big Bang theory. All these modern concepts, they are making people atheist. Darwin's evolution, theory of natural selection and chemical origin of life, and there are so many others not worth mentioning, and new coming up. All this will spoil people and make them atheists, make them lose their character, develop bad qualities. So pure Krishna consciousness has to be established, and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur did that, and that's why today so easily a non-Brahmana person, even a Western sannyasi can preach and give initiation, and public accept it because Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur put a foundation for it. And Srila Prabhupada said, the grandfather is more merciful than the father sometimes. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur is great-great-grandfather for us, more merciful. And today we are worshipping him as 150th appearance day. So we should pray to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur to bless us so that we continue to perform pure devotional service. Okay? Thank you very much. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur ki Jai. Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
If there are any comments or questions, you may please ask. Yeah, any questions? Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. It's a nice lecture. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
So I have one, not a question, probably is a clarification for me. So you mentioned that Prabhuji, Maharaj has given instructions to A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhuji to go and preach to in the Western world. So how we need to understand, because during that time there is a lot of ignorance back in India itself. So not focusing on India and giving the instructions to Prabhupada to go and preach to Western world.
Well,
Hare Krishna.
Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur was preaching in India already, and he established 64 Gaudiya Math. And his other disciples were continuing to preach in India. But he wanted one or two disciples to go to Western world and spread the teachings there also. Because India was following West. So if you go and preach to West, then India will continue. So he was equally concerned about both. So he and his disciples were preaching in Gaudiya Math, preaching in India, and he wanted somebody to go in West and preach as well. Okay?
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Next question. Okay, we'll end here. Thank you very much. His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Do we have time?
Yeah, we have some time. They are doing some offerings, so 5 minutes are there. We can take some few more questions if they have. Hare Krishna. So this is an opportunity that we have to ask questions. Even if you have any other spiritual questions which are not specifically on today's topic, that is also fine. we have 5-10 minutes more. So utilize that time in association of Prabhuji. So if anyone has any other questions, we still have time. Either on today's lecture or any other spiritual question on other topics. Looks like you are all pure devotees, all your doubts are clarified. If that is the case, from next week, I will call you to give lectures.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna Maharaji, very nice lecture. My question is not from the related topic which you took today, but it is in general, so that should...
Go ahead.
So, my question was, Prabhuji, when a challenging situation comes to a devotee and a challenging situation comes to a non-devotee, how does the two approaches are different? So, does that question make sense, Prabhuji?
Yes. So, when a challenge comes, we understand that it is Krishna's mercy that a bigger pain was to come. Krishna gave a smaller pain. So, devotee understands that this situation is because of my past karma and I take responsibility of it. And Krishna is very merciful. My leg was to be broken, he just broke my shoes. So Krishna always protects his devotees. So whatever happens to us is good for us. We may not realize it at that time, but we use it to increase our dependence on Krishna and continue to practice bhakti. So challenge, a non-devotee gets frustrated or struggles or fights or blames somebody. A devotee is grateful that Krishna is giving a less pain to me. I am grateful to him and I continue to practice my bhakti. And we tolerate, and sometimes it is beyond the limit of our tolerance, we protect ourselves. But we don't get dejected. So once Arjuna, he went to Krishna and told, I want to speak about Subhadra. You know who is Subhadra? Arjuna's wife and Krishna's sister. So Arjuna and Krishna are brother-in-law. So Arjuna going to Krishna to talk about Subhadra, that means wife's brother, that's not an ordinary relationship, serious matter. So Arjuna told, my dear Krishna, Subhadra's only young son Abhimanyu, 16-year-old boy, died in front of you in the battlefield. And Subhadra knows my brother is Supreme Personality of Godhead who can make dead person alive. But you didn't protect your sister's son. In spite of that, Subhadra's love for you has not reduced. I appreciate Subhadra for that. In an ordinary family, if the sister's young son dies in front of sister's brother and the brother doesn't take the son to the hospital, do you think that sister-brother relationship will continue? No, the sister will say, from tomorrow I will not see your face. You didn't help my son. And here sister's son died in front of not ordinary brother but Supreme Personality of Godhead who could have done anything impossible. But he didn't protect the son. Still sister's love never reduced, that whatever Krishna did is good for me. Pandavas also faced so many challenges, but their dependence on Krishna continued to increase. So we should use our challenges to grow in life, to continue to increase our intensity of dependence on Krishna. Right? The more we are diseased, we rush to the doctor. And if my disease is more increasing in spite of taking medicines, we again go to the doctor who increases the dose. And still we are more diseased. We go to hospital and get admitted in ICU. In the same way, if challenge in life is increasing, we go to Dr. Krishna. If it is increasing more, we go more and chant more and increase the number of rounds. That is going to increasing the dose. And if it is too serious, you go to ICU. That is called intensive chanting unit. Just sit and chant. So we use the challenge to grow in Krishna consciousness, increase our dependence on Krishna, because that is the only solution.
Thank you, Maharaj. The following question is, what if that challenge is an obstacle to Krishna's devotion?
Yeah, we protect our bhakti. So if we are not able to convert the obstacle to an opportunity, we protect our bhakti by avoiding that obstacle. But generally, when we are in proper guidance, we can use that obstacle as an opportunity to grow in bhakti. Can I tell you a small story?
Sure, please.
So there was a donkey who fell in a dry well in a field at night, and he couldn't come out. So he started crying, braying, and that was making lots of noise. So the owner of the donkey got very disturbed, his sleep was disturbed. He came out and saw the stupid donkey inside the well. And it's not easy to get the donkey out. And he will cry whole night. So the owner thought, this donkey is old, no use to me. And this well is also old, no use to me. If I put the mud in the well will also get closed and the donkey will also get buried. In one shot I will have two problems solved. So he called some of his friends and they started putting sand in the well. And what will happen to the donkey now? He will die because the sand will cover. But this donkey is clever. What did he do? Whenever the sand came on the back of the donkey, he will shake his body. When he shakes his body, the sand will fall down, he will step on the sand. Again sand came, again he shake his body, the sand fell down, he step on the sand, and after a few times he came out of the well. So the very sand which was supposed to bury him actually came out of the well because of that sand. So obstacles will come in life. There may be health challenges, there may be family challenges, there may be financial challenges, there may be some other challenges, but it all helps us to increase the dependence on Krishna. If a child is playing quietly, nicely, he will not think of the mother. But as soon as a child has a challenge, he will cry and go to the lap of the mother. And that is how mother will feed and take care of, fondle and bathe and dress the child. So when everything is okay, we don't go to Krishna. So Krishna sends a challenge, so we increase our dependence on Krishna, then Krishna takes care of us. So if there's a challenge, we go to Krishna. If it is an obstacle, we try to convert it into an opportunity. If we are not able to, we seek advice from senior devotees, or we at least protect ourselves from that obstacle, protect our bhakti, make sure our bhakti is not disturbed. Okay?
Thank you
All
very
the
much.
best.
Any other questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
So, in the past time you shared of Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, so you said, he was humble because he took initiation from somebody who was illiterate. But he was also assertive when in defeating the arguments of others. So, in our lives also we face situations where we have to be assertive sometimes. So the question is, how do we practice humility in a practical way based on time-tested circumstance?
Well, assertive and humility are not opposite. I am humble, knowing well that my value is lower than others. At the same time, I am assertive as a servant of Krishna, that Krishna's name has to be protected. My master's principles and philosophy has to be protected. So I am assertive for Krishna, and for personal thing I am humble.
So is that the only situation in which we can be assertive?
Sorry?
Is that the only situation in which we should be assertive?
In service to Krishna. In our protection as well, we are not on a level of transcendence. So we have some material dependence like house or clothes or shoes or health, etc. So we can be assertive to protect it. And we can be assertive if somebody is exploiting or manipulating and wasting our resources and time which are supposed to be given to Krishna. So if somebody wants our time and it is not favorable to our bhakti, we can be assertive and say, no, my time is for Krishna, but in a polite way. So we can be assertive to those things which are favorable for my bhakti and say no to those things which are unfavorable to bhakti. Right? So that's okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay? Hare Krishna. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, my question is, my question is, when we have kids and when they are at teenage or like when they are studying, how much should we push them to study better? See, they need to have that determination to do better. But it should not be that they should go into mode of passion and over endeavor or do over. But how do we actually tell them like the difference between material endeavors and spiritual endeavors?
So, teenage kids should be first-class devotees and first-class students. We should inspire and encourage them to be first-class in both. And mode of passion, some mode of passion is required to perform any activity, whether it is job or driving or studying. So we encourage them. They study in a way it doesn't disturb their health, it doesn't disturb their sleep, it doesn't disturb their bhakti, it doesn't disturb the family time. So they study as per their capacity, and we should be happy with whatever results come. But we should encourage them to give their first class. Right? So if they are missing their rounds or if they are missing other things, life should be balanced. And we should also, while encouraging them, have a balanced approach that in case they get less marks, life is not over. There are many school dropouts like Bill Gates. Not that every school dropout will be a Bill Gates, but life is not over if some less mark comes. That's okay. How many of us remember our marks? And where did you use it after first job? We never used our marks after first job. Right? So that's okay. They should be good devotees, good citizens, good character individuals, and within their capacity, good students. So that's fine. Yeah?
Thank you.
Yes, Mr.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, my question is like we are in Krishna consciousness and we feel like we are totally dependent on Krishna. But many times I feel like I'm faking in the sense like we still think about like materially am I okay? Like we still think about like am I okay at the time of my retirement? Do I have some money to take care of myself at the time of retirement? So is it right to think like that? Do we still keep aside enough money to take care of ourselves, or feel like no, Krishna is going to take care of me, I don't have to even worry about it? Is that the right attitude? But sometimes we are still in the material world, so not able to totally give everything and say Krishna is going to take care.
Well, it is not wrong, just that it is not highest. We are at a particular stage of bhakti. In that stage, our dependence is not 100%. So we have some dependence on Krishna, some dependence on material assets. So we are thinking to protect both. So it is not highest. Highest is 0, 100. Lowest is 100, 0. We are in between 30, 70, 40, 60, 50, 50, 70, 30, whatever. So we have to advance further. We have to eventually come to 100% dependence on Krishna, 0% on material assets. Eventually we have to come to that platform. So at this point we can't suddenly switch. We have to gradually increase by giving more to Krishna, our time, our energy, chanting more, reading more, hearing more, serving more. Krishna wants 100%. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam bhajana. Mam ekam. Ekam means only. Surrender to me only. Krishna wants our 100% love. Krishna doesn't want your 99% love. Krishna does not want your 99.99% love. He is not interested in that. ISKCON is not made for that. ISKCON is made for 100% love. Nothing else. Krishna doesn't want anything less than that. That is his standard, his requirement. If somebody gives you a glass of water, 99% pure, drink it. Anyone will drink? No, we want 100% pure. We don't want 1% dirt. So why Krishna should have something less? If husband says, wife, I love you 99%. 1% I love neighbor's wife. Will the wife be happy? Why? 99% is not good? She wants 100%. Why Krishna doesn't want 100% then? Krishna is happy with 99%? Not at all. He wants 100%. So please give your 100%. Krishna, we are part and parcel of Krishna eternally, eternal relationship. And He is waiting for us in the spiritual world since millions of years with tears in His eyes. My dear devotees, tell me one thing. How many more years you want Him to wait? How many more years? Isn't enough is enough? So this life we give 100% to Krishna and go back. Not make Him wait more. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam braja. Give up everything and come to me only. Krishna is saying that. So He wants 100%. We are in association of devotees. We started with 0%. We are not yet at 100%, but we are somewhere in between. We have to increase it. So it happens gradually by chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare, and hearing Bhagavatam. Okay? Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.